Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by
the Resilience DoctHers,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
The Resilience DoctHers.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Resilience DoctHers
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with
the Resilience
describe them as an
DoctHers.
excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 236 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor. We are very excited to continue season 5 with you as we build resilient schools through strong systems.
Absolutely. And so for our Real Fam members, if you would tell us what has kept you resilient in the work this week. And one of the things that kept me resilient, some of my meetings, I do have to meet with students at times. And this one student was so excited about her grades that we were going over. She had straight A's. She said, could I have a copy of that? I said, absolutely. And I went and made her a copy of her grades, but it was very inspiring to see how proud of herself that she was, and she had overcome a great deal. So if this is your first time tuning in, you may be wondering, who are the Resilience DoctHers and how do I become a Real Fam member? But please put in the comments, what has kept you resilient this week?
Yes, and I'm so glad that you are asking who we are, because we are best-selling authors, children's book authors, award-winning educators, and speakers who transformed our schools with the report card movement of 2 and 3 levels in just a single year. And my resilience in the work this week has been in, I am like moving a little bit away from that student side of things, but being able to work with and support new teachers or potential teachers is a very rewarding experience as well. So this week it was very great to see so many folks who are excited about becoming a part of that world of education where we are in it to win it for kids, and just seeing the passion that some of those folks had has definitely been a resilience booster for me this week.
That is awesome, Tammy. I'm glad that you're enjoying your new transition.
I am getting there. I'm figuring it out.
Good.
Yeah. I
And
had
as
withdrawals at first, like I was withdrawn for like, oh my goodness, what about the kids? But now I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I see how this is going to be great for making sure that kids are getting what they need.
right, it still directly impacts them in a big way.
Yes,
You're absolutely right.
definitely.
So, as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we partner with struggling schools to realign everything at the school to include accountability systems and staff culture in order to produce measurable performance outcomes using our real turnaround model. So, if your school or district is experiencing, if you're in CSI, priority, ATSI, if you have had recent principal turnover, or if you are the principal who's thinking about turning it over, um, if you have low literacy growth, stagnant growth amongst your African American students or multilingual learners, or the students receiving special services, if you have ongoing discipline challenges, and increased state and district pressure, these are all things that we have navigated, and our turnaround model helped to improve. So we are actively seeking turnaround partnerships. We have successfully exited these lists. We've managed district and state pressure tied to these designations. And as you heard, overcame that with 2 and 3 report card grade level raising in 1 year. So we understand what it takes to stabilize, realign, and rebuild a school's culture and performance system. So our goal is not to just help you recover, but also position you as the next documented success story and be able to join us in this work. Because as we looked at the map the other day of all of the schools with designations, it seems like that number is growing. So, if you're looking also for a children's book author's visit, we can also assist you with that. And if you have not picked up your copy of Amir's Awakening, please do so.
Yes, absolutely. And if you can't bring us in right now, we encourage you to continue to tune in to the Real Academy, where we have impacted over 300,000 educators and about 7 million students through all free Fantastic Four PD that starts off every Saturday morning, which has been deemed as Super Saturday by Principal Kafele. And we start at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt, who was on this morning and going strong
Mhm.
all the way until the end. And then, of course, we follow in the Real Academy, Shika and I, at 10:30, and at 11 a.m. you have none other than the leader's mentor himself and the GOAT in the APM New Principals Academy with Principal Kafele. And then on Sunday evenings, we round out with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. So please continue to join us.
Absolutely. And please like, share, send the stars, the comments, subscribe, do all of the things that the platforms do. We need help with these algorithms, and don't keep us all to yourself. Share this with someone that you know it may help. So, if you're a Real Fam member, you know that it is announcements and Real Fam shout out time. So, shout out to our trader mentors from Options 101. We had a phenomenal session this past week, and they are knocking it out the park, showing people who have regular day jobs how to increase their income with options and trading. But what I'm helping them with is a framework in order to align their work. So, another proof that frameworks and our alignment system works just about anywhere because it's an actual system. So, it helps anybody put something in place where you need alignment. And they are loving the work that we're doing. A reminder for our radio show, if you haven't heard it on Wednesdays, that's through WGCD radio show 104.5 FM. Parents are first teachers. And if you haven't received our leadership guide download, make sure that you log on to our website and get on our contact list so that you can receive that email as well. It goes with each episode, a discussion guide. So, shout out to Mr. David Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, Grand Rising. Chancellor Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, thank you for joining us. AP Patrick Lawrence from Connecticut, thank you for joining us. Coach Dot McKeever Jeter, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you sharing all of the platforms. You and Mr. David Bell both do that, as well as others who are here with us. Dr. Edwin Garcia, thank you for joining us. LaKenna Rowland from New Jersey. Dr. Rella Hicks. Let's see, Principal Sean Hurd, our brother in the work. Queen Jasmine Harris, thank you for joining us. Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu. September Devance Vance Daniels, thank you for joining us. My mom, Beverly Hall, is here. Thank you for joining us. And we have Constance Sherrard from Pearl, Mississippi. Thank you for joining us. The GOAT is here, Principal Kafele. We appreciate you always. He has been having some dynamite sessions the past few weeks, so we look forward to another one today. Dr. Joe Griffin, who also does this work, thank you for joining us. Our sister in the work, Miss Renee Green from our own area, Chester County. And she's also a school board member in Fairfield County. So we appreciate her joining us. And I think I got everyone. You all, we appreciate you being here. You could be doing a lot of things, but you are intentional about being here with us on Saturdays. And we do not take that lightly. So we've been walking through season 5, focusing on foundations. And Tammy, did you need to add any announcements?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. So we've been walking through season 5, focusing on the foundations, which is our framework that you see over our shoulders and at the top of the panel. Respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership make up the framework. And this is our resilience framework. And we've been reimagining MTSS and monitoring without overwhelm. So today we're going to shift to something that is critical. And that is, if tier 1 is going to stay strong, our adults must be strong and empowered.
Absolutely, Shika, because if students are going to perform, they need adults who are proficient, efficient, and know what systems they're working with because students do not outperform adult systems. If teachers are overwhelmed, if they're unclear, they feel like they're unsupported, if they are burning out, then tier 1 is going to weaken.
Absolutely, Tammy. And teacher efficacy really determines student outcomes a lot of times. And that efficacy can be cultivated through empowerment. So, empowerment includes skills. When we see things that our teachers are phenomenal at, they have a skill set sometimes over and beyond someone else, shout them out. And not only shout them out, I used to make some of those people my model classrooms for whatever it was. If it was for classroom management, if it was for student engagement, now I got a model classroom that when we have a coaching session, I can send somebody over here to go see all of these great skills that exist in my building. It also includes clarity. So when there's clarity, that comes from effective communication through either your newsletters or your coaching sessions that you're having with teachers. It also comes through belief. So you have to make sure that, especially in turnaround work, because some of your teachers may not be aware that other people have done what you're trying to do, you have to make them realize we are not in a situation that we can't get out of. People have done this. That's your responsibility to bring them that research so they can believe and see the light at the end of the tunnel. You have to bring the energy. You got to be the cheerleader. And it also means that you have to support, which means you listen, you advocate, and you don't just do that with your ears and your mouth. You got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to do it with your budget too. So when your teachers need things, you got to write it in. Right, Tammy? Am I
No,
am I
I'm
telling the
just
truth?
saying, honey, you better go on and say it.
So we often talk about tier one for students, but tier one must also exist for our adults. So tier one for adults includes all of those things that I just talked about: clear expectations, clear instructional look fors, coaching structures, feedback systems, and professional learning alignment.
Yes, Shika. I was looking at some notes that I had jotted down once when during a session that
Hmm.
Principal Cafale was doing, and when you were saying that about that whole put your money where your mouth is, you really have to make sure that what you're saying matches what you're doing, or you look like a hypocrite, and people can't, they don't trust you. And what we are talking about this morning are um, is causation. I guess is the way that you would think about that, because when adults don't feel supported at tier one with those things that you just mentioned, then they unintentionally create tier two and tier three problems for kids. And that, again, that causation is the lack of support for teachers at tier one creates an issue for students at tier one, which pushes them into tier two and tier three situations, which we cannot afford. So we have to make sure that we recognize that teacher efficacy is not personality based confidence. It's built through consistent leadership messaging, protected planning times, coaching that builds skills, the skills that you were talking about that get refined so that they are the things that can be reinforced throughout the school. Coaching that builds those skills, not just from instructional coaches, but from instructional leadership. The leaders in that building are the ones who are guiding that process and leading that charge. And then, as you said before, recognitions for the things that they are amazing at, but also recognition for growth that the students are making, but recognition for personal and professional growth for staff as well. And then one of the most important things for me, I think, that really impacted the way my staff looked to me and respected the expectations that were in place. Ms. Green, you're on here. You can respond to this. But I think making sure that you have clear non negotiables. These are the things that we don't negotiate on. This is what I expect to see happening for children. with children, by children in classrooms. And when those things are clear, then you realize that you are able to build that teacher efficacy that is so important for student success.
You are absolutely right, Tammy. Those non negotiables are very important and really need to be communicated very effectively. And so to add on to what Tammy said, when teachers believe that their actions impact outcomes, instruction improves. And then when teachers feel powerless, that compliance increases. So we have to make sure that resilient schools build efficacy intentionally. You have to make sure that you're putting in the right structures in order for this to happen. So let's align adult empowerment to the framework. So when we're looking at respect, we always say respect is the door. Teachers feel valued and heard when they are respected because you're intentional about that. Excellence, you have clear instructional expectations. Tammy talked about those non negotiables. That's a part of that. Accountability is supportive monitoring. So it doesn't look like I got you or I'm out to get you or I'm trying to, get you off the island. This looks supportive. I'm out here with you doing this work. And then with literacy, you have to have that ongoing professional learning. Things are changing a lot with our learners. We've changed to the science of reading, and it's not a change for some people, but it's a shift for others. So we have to keep that ongoing professional development going. And also the psychological safety and clarity that leadership brings. So making sure that everyone knows that we are all leaders in this work.
Yeah, because if we don't all have some ownership, that system of accountability goes kaput. Because if we're not being accountable for the leadership that we are expected to provide, required to provide. It's mandatory that you show up as an impactful leader so that your children can thrive. And what she could just share with you, of course, is a part of our real framework. She broke down what the acronym is for and what you can and leave with when we are emphasizing what this system really does for you is when adults experience the real, guess what? Students experience the real respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, leadership. So those things are paramount in classrooms and making sure that that is a part of what occurs from day to day. Overworked teachers are usually a result of unclear and unaligned systems. Now, don't get us wrong. Teaching is hard work, but teaching should be rewarding work. When you see teachers who are burning out, who are exhausted at the end of the day, and again, don't get me wrong, when I get home, I've given everything that I have. So there is a level of exhaustion that just comes with that. But when you see teachers that seem fractured and they are just cannot wait until the day ends because they are just that overwhelmed, that is usually the result of unclear and unaligned systems that are in place from leadership.
Absolutely, Tammy. And when systems are aligned, teachers don't yes, leaders don't micromanage, and students don't experience inconsistency. So resilience becomes natural in your building, and that's what we want it to be. So as you're reflecting on this, a part of our systems framework, our formula for implementing systems. That last part is reflections to make sure that you're improving. Ask yourself, are you asking teachers to compensate for weak systems, or are we strengthening systems so teachers can thrive?
And you know what? This is the time when you take out that mirror that Principal Kafele tells us that we need to be looking into to ask yourself those questions that Sheikah just mentioned. Because resilient schools don't necessarily demand more effort. They design and demand more clarity.
Absolutely, Tammy. So we hope that this session has given you something to garner and something to add to. We thank you for joining us for episode 236 of the Real Academy. And remember to make sure that you're on our mailing list through our website to receive that free discussion guide that goes along with each episode. Reach out if you are planning a leadership retreat or PD for your upcoming school year.
And next week, we're going to continue building on adult capacity and move into how instructional coaching accelerates tier one strength. We are your resilience doctors, helping you create and educate so that you all can thrive.
Absolutely. So please join Principal Kafele next. He has a dynamic lineup lined up for us. Make sure that you join Josh and Dr. Madi Moreno on Sunday for the PGP podcast. And then right back here on Super Saturday, starting off with Principal Sean Hurd at 10 a.m. Yours truly, Create and Educate at 10:30. And the Leaders Mentor and the GOAT, Principal Kafele at 11. And we're Super Saturday. Josh and Dr. Marty Moreno are Sensational Sunday. We hope that you all have a real amazing Super Saturday.
And a great week.
Thank you.